So anyway, so most of you in the audience already know me. So you already know that I love doing this. So what I'm going to do, since it's such a small group and everyone already knows that I'm crazy about this, I'm addicted to social media. I love, love, love it. So I will explain as much as I can. And now I'm really loud. La 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 la. Okay. My mic should be louder. Should this be louder? La 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 la. Too loud. Okay, so what I'd like to start with is how I started with my journey with social media and this kind of marketing. And my start was through cause marketing. And I was fortunate enough to teach 2 classes at the business school at CU on cause marketing. And cause marketing is really an old method of marketing. It was actually started in 1983 when the American Express company, who back then charged $25 to get an American Express card and account, they offered, if you signed up right now, that they would donate $5 to the renovation of the Statue of Liberty. And it was so successful that it started this whole new trend in marketing. They were the first ones. And so it's been since 1983 that the corporations have known about marketing this way, about using social subjects, social projects to gain more customers and get more visibility. So the next one that really took this off and really did incredibly well with it was Ben & Jerry's. And Ben & Jerry's was one of the first ones to do packaging where they actually put a percentage of the proceeds from selling their product went to a nonprofit. And so from that, 10 years later, I mean, it's huge, you guys. Now, once you get a chance, I encourage you to go to the Cause Marketing Forum and check it out, because you'll be surprised at who's doing amazing things. Most large corporations, even though we're here at this type of an event and we're thinking that we are more conscious than they are, most large corporations do have a conscious department in them that is doing cause marketing. And they're doing a lot of wonderful things in the world, and we really need to model that in our own small little world and use their techniques, because they work. I mean, they've done studies where if you're in the grocery and there's markings on the labels of cans or bottles, and one has a cause and it's the same price as something right next to it that doesn't have a cause, the consumer will buy the cause product, even if it's not their normal product. So it works. The psyche of us is most people want a better world and they want to do something for it. So just so you know, this is a wonderful resource. They meet in Chicago. Their website is fabulous. So if you want ideas. Whoops. Okay, so why should we use social media? Social media, and again, most of you already know me and know that I'm crazy about it. So I'm speaking to the choir a little bit, but social media is a way for you to reach millions of people a day. Millions of people with hardly any cost. What happens is, for instance, one of my friends that I'll be talking about in this presentation, her name's Angie Lyle. Ted and I went to lunch with her in Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas. And she kept looking at her iPhone. It was like, hey, Angie, we're right here. What are you doing? And she said, I'm sorry, I did Alanya Van Sant, who is the next Oprah, basically. She's being groomed to be the next Oprah. She did her website, her Facebook page, and it was going to 1 million likes. And Angie had to be there and know exactly when it was. Just think what that is. If you had 1 million likes on your Facebook fan page for your project, your company, or your nonprofit, that you could do a post and 20,000 people might be able to see it at one time. I mean, it's truly amazing, and there's no cost to it. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about this is just for fun and it's just a goof off time. It's really business, and people are using it for business. So again, want to say we love social media and we want you to love it too, partially because it's so much fun. So this is part of it. I get on social media and I'm doing people's Facebook, and I start looking at these pictures and I'm laughing out loud. This woman's at the gym having a cocktail. She's working hard. And this is a cat getting back at a dog. And these are called memes. And memes go viral. I mean, sometimes you look at them and go, they are just ridiculous, but they work. And it brings a lot of people to your brand. So for instance, this one, I think it probably had 200,000 likes on it. If you forward it, you get the play off of this mime, what somebody else did. So when you're passing along, anything that's been viewed very highly, any beautiful pictures, any sayings, any of those quotes, you want to make sure that somebody in your department and your industry, that you're following them and that you're a me too, because then it's valuable content. But this is just plain funny. So, and this is another one that I want to make sure, I'm going to be bringing up video several times today, because that's the thing I really want, one of the takeaways that I really want you to know about out of my talk, is that you have to do video now. What happens is, if you don't do video, people can't really connect with you in an authentic way. The way that they can see your sense, they can hear your voice, they can see the way you stand, they can connect with you like never before. And on Facebook, you can connect your YouTube account, which is one of the social media accounts I'll talk about, or you can actually upload videos right out of your phone. So you don't have to be bashful about this anymore. The other thing that you need to think about is, in the old days, and I mean this is only 5 years ago, old days, there used to be, you had to have a corporate Facebook page and a personal Facebook page. Well, right now you can have 5,000 likes on your personal page, and then you can build off your personal page and have multiple fan pages and business pages and groups. You can have millions of people on them. I mean, that is how Obama won the election, was Facebook and Twitter. So you can do that. On those pages, you want to connect all of these social media sites so that you benefit from them. Because social impact is one of the registers that Google uses to put you at the high of the search engine results. Okay? And video is one of the easiest, fastest ways for you to get at the top of Google for a search. So want to make sure you understand that. Plus, it's really important for engaging authentically. So this is the other part of it. You can reach people all over the world. Right now, most of the work that I'm doing is in English. So I'm looking at English-speaking countries, but a lot of the customers I work with are international, and you have assets all over the world. So you want to know that whatever you do can reach everybody. Plus, if you're authentic and you merge your business persona, which, as I started to say, 5 years ago you had 2 different personas, not anymore. We want you to be authentically you, because all of this is about relationship. It used to say that you had a relationship with a company, you had a relationship with HP, you had a relationship with General Foods, you had a relationship with a company. Well, that's never been the case. You always had a relationship with someone inside that company. So that's where it's so important for you to really think about that reach and think about being authentically you. And being authentically you means you don't have to be perfect. Be you. Okay, so this is how the trends are going right now so that you can make the best choices. The first trend is mobile. You have to be ready for mobile. Mobile, last year, 38% of all the searches and all of the work that was done on the internet was done on mobile phones. This next year, it's going to double. And the main reason is partially, it depends on the market that you're going for. If you're going for young mothers, like a lot of the gardening and the kids booths are for here, if that's your target market, you have to do mobile. You won't reach them any other way. So, because they're on their phone, their kids are on the playground, they're at McDonald's playing in those balls, and although these people may not have them at McDonald's playing in their balls, but in those little games, that was my daughter's 25, so. But anyway, mobile, you have to have a mobile site. Your mobile site, the way that you get a mobile site is if you do a WordPress site, you get what they call a responsive site. A responsive site actually activates different resolutions and different views depending on what device you use. It actually registers if I'm on my cell phone or on my iPad or on my computer, and it automatically changes for that. So that makes it much, much easier. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing that they're saying for trends is that you have to consider investing in social media, in the advertising of it. You can invest as little as $10 a day and get your reach increased tenfold. The way that you can do this, you can boost a post. So all of you know Facebook well enough that hi Miriam. All of you know Facebook enough that you know that what a post is. You can click on boost a post and just put $10. So you do $5 for 2 days. You can pick your audience. You can pick the demographics. The reason why Facebook is where we're doing most of our business, we're using Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as the bulk of our business for fundraising, not necessarily for business to business, but business to consumer. And the reason is that there's demographics on Facebook and audience search on Facebook as a database like no other online service. It's huge. Yeah, yes. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. LinkedIn, okay. LinkedIn is business to business marketing. And so for grandmother, what you're doing and what I do a lot, it's a platform of choice. But for fundraising, where you need people with a cause and you want alignment with a cause, you can actually identify people that like Sierra Club. You can actually find them because they have it in their interests. Then the database. What happened is, it's sort of interesting. This is all a game, you guys, and it's all a game for a lot of money. And Google originally won the game. They had AdSense, and AdSense allowed you to identify your target market and then put an ad up for a cost in front of everybody that did a search. Well, then Facebook came in with a better database. And Google lost a lot of money to Facebook advertising. So then Google buys YouTube, starts working on advertising on YouTube, meanwhile starts Google Plus, which Google Plus you will want to, it's going to be up and coming this year. You're going to want to start doing Google Plus if you're not doing it. It will be more important than LinkedIn for visibility. So then what happens, LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter, all of a sudden now you can put images on them like Facebook. You can do advertising like Facebook. So Facebook's still the leader. And they're the leader because they have the data. You can definitely reach your target market inexpensively. Is that okay? Did that answer your question for LinkedIn? Okay, great. Okay. So last year, if you got to see my presentation, I talked about content marketing being king. And this year I would say it again, content marketing is king. And the reason why it's king, and what that means by content marketing, is if you want to be seen as an authority in your field, you need to have valuable information that you give away for free on every subject that you're passionate about or that is part of your portfolio. So whether you're a business or a cause, a nonprofit, or a crowdsource project, you want to make sure that your content is good. And I will show you some examples of that in a couple slides. But is everyone aware of content marketing? It's where you put your blog together and you put a paragraph or two of data, and then below it you would put a video or an image that would direct people. So you want to overgive on your blog and your content to be seen as an authority.
Can you wrap around someone else's? So if I reuse white papers, case studies, and I blog around that, that's just someone else's?
Yes. Her question is, how is it okay to use other people's content and repurpose it, or use a direct link to it in your content? And that's yes, and I encourage you to do that because the links will help your post as well. Everything's a links game because Google is still the leader until somebody else comes with a search engine that works better on the phone, and that is a real possibility. Google may lose their key position if somebody does that. But until they do that, it's all about links, because what Google does to give you relevance at the top of the page is they look at all your social accounts, your social networking accounts, all of the links. So you want to make sure that you're at the center. Now the other thing about content, to explain it, is people are really busy now, and the reason why the Huffington Post and some of these other sites are so popular is they're doing what they call content curation, and they become a valued source for information, so you don't have to go all over the place and try to figure out if you trust this person's opinion, because it doesn't cost anything to put junk up on the internet now. So if you don't want to have to search, you go to these valued authority sites, right? So if you use the valued authority sites in your posting, that's a bonus for you. It makes you look even better. The other thing they're saying for 2005 is email marketing is going to be stronger than ever. There was a big problem with deliverability last year because of Gmail. And so many people have not only the corporate sites, but the email accounts, but they also have Gmail accounts, and Gmail started putting together these folders, and a lot of the promotional emails went to the junk folder. So what you have to do now is there's all sorts of other ways to do email marketing. There's other vendors that have come up that allow you to have higher deliverability, but email is another touch. Now, traditional marketing, as you may know, you need 8 to 10 times of a touch to a certain person to be in their mind as a resource, and email is still going to be one of your top ways to do that. So when you're doing some of these projects, you may do a pre-launch email, you may do right at launch start, middle of launch, and post-launch. And that would be for any event, any fundraiser, any business project, okay? And then the other part that we want to tell you is that customers want to know you. Again, I'm going to keep talking about this authenticity subject because it's so important now. It used to be that you could, if you remember the Jetsons, Jane would put on this face before she'd answer the phone. And now if you put that on, people feel it right away and they say, no, thank you, next. They can sense that you're not in integrity, and they want to connect with you as a person. So what brands are finding, as well as other businesses and causes, is that you want to connect with the customer in a central way. And a lot of this is also, have any of you heard about, hi, Have any of you heard about the cultural creatives as a marketing? Have any of you heard of that? Okay. 5 years ago, I was on a panel at Journeys for Conscious Living with the author that wrote the book Cultural Creatives. And Cultural Creatives was a new type of marketing, which is what we're seeing all of these social media sites come out with. They're the vehicle, the platform to do what he talked about. And the old way of marketing was you used a platform and you took a customer profile. So you might make an avatar of my customer is 40 years old, she's a woman, she has 2 kids, she has a college degree. And that would, or she might have a certain car, she might own her own home. So you used all those demographics before. Well, now, since the cultural creatives model has come out, the cultural creatives model is to connect with people on their passions and their interests and their values. So this is where, when you're doing a marketing plan, when you're doing your values, vision, and mission statement, you have to be very clear who you're talking to. And that's especially true for any of these nonprofit promotions. They will not connect with you if you are not using that model of values, vision, and mission. That's where their heart is. You don't have to worry about what age they are. You have to know what they care about. And Sierra Club and some of these other huge nonprofits, they've done a fabulous job with this. So I want to encourage you to know about that. Plus, I really want, again, is communicating with video is one of the ways. When you send an email marketing message, you can put a video embed into it. It's an image shot, and it can click to either your blog or to YouTube. It'll benefit you all the way around for links. Any questions on that, or we're okay? Okay. So what do you want to promote? Each one of you in the room, a lot of what I'm telling you about social media for fun and fundraising will work for your small business as well as it'll work for fundraising. But I want you to know specifics. I interviewed 3 experts. I consider myself pretty well healed, but I wanted other people's ideas because it's just such a creative universe that we're in right now, and so much fun. And I want to encourage you to be creative and have fun with it. So here's a Girl Scout troop that wants to win an award for their area, and they've got signs and they're posting all over Facebook. And my friend is having all her friends share their image. Think they might make it? That's a lot easier than what we did for trying to raise money for gift wrap and everything. And this was on Facebook. Then this is a crowdfunding. I don't know if you know Paradiso and Rasamaya, thank you. They now live in Kansas City, Kansas. They used to live in Boulder with us. And they're crystal bowl and didgeridoo healers, sound healers. And here she is, and you can see she tagged her friends. So all her friends got this post to a link to a Kickstarter to help fund their next project. So that's one way. If you can't let money, if you've got a message that needs to get out, you can't let money be your excuse anymore. There are no excuses. This cost her no money, except if she paid one of those sites. Okay? So now we're going to talk about crowdsourcing or crowdfunding because it's a new phenomenon. And I've been fascinated with it. And some of the people that we're going to talk about, the reviews, they used it and they were very highly successful. So basically what this is a way, instead of you calling, back in the, even 5 years ago, calling all your friends, having to bug people, every aunt and uncle, everybody you ever, going to a meeting and having all this stuff out, please buy, please help me. You can actually do a crowdfunding, and I'll show you the sites and explain. That's on your handout as well as some of the sites that you can go to do this. And what happened was you can contact all these people through the internet to help fund your project. You can do it through social media, through viral videos, and that's definitely where you have to have a sense of humor and some sort of personality with your brand. And some of the people, I'll show you one of them, he pre-sold all of his books. He's an author. So again, I want to encourage you to understand there's no reason why you can't do what you need to do. If it costs you $10,000, you can raise $10,000 very easily. So these are some of the sites, and these were for projects. Now, when I first started working with people doing these crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, there were only this Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Now there are absolutely hundreds of these sites. I'm going to show you in the next few slides some of the sites so that you can get an idea of them. Well, the reason why I made you the handouts so you don't have to go to all the trouble to do the research, and I hope you can read it without a magnifying glass, is that the way that each one of these work is unique, that each one of them have their own percentage to fund the platform. And the things that you have to know is that in Kickstarter, all or nothing. So if you say you want $5,000 and you do it on Kickstarter and you get $4,950, you get none of it. You have to pay the fee, but you have to return all the money that was paid. So plus Kickstarter is one of the hardest ones to get listed with. Indiegogo, on the other hand, all or nothing, question mark, they have both types of campaigns, and they do different fees on whether you do it each way. What happened was originally Indiegogo was you could get whatever you raised, but you have to understand that these guys are the original starters in this industry, and it's like a huge industry now. And Rocket Hub is another one, and I have not used Rocket Hub, but you can see, I mean, there's some hefty fees, but versus you going to a bank and filling out for loans. Now all of these use video, so that's my soapbox is video. Okay, so then here's ones for creative projects, like Miriam's daughter. I didn't put her in here, but she has a dance troupe. It's called the Shift Creative, and she's done fundraisers through this. Well, how much did she raise, Miriam? Yeah, so Miriam's daughter has a dance troupe in Boulder, and she raised $5,000. So, and it's quite remarkable what she does. It's called shifting. Yeah?
So if you set it for 5,000, do they cut you off at 5,000?
No.
So you
Yeah, you can go. I'll show you one as soon as I.
And Kate from Denver Urban Gardens talking about some new organic gardening techniques. You won't want to miss this.
Okay, so all or nothing. Whoops. All or nothing, yes. All or nothing, yes. All or nothing, you must reach at least 80%. So you have to read the fine print before you align with one of these, and you only want to do one. Okay, so here's the one if you are doing work for social nonprofit and if you're a social activist. These are causes.com. I don't know if you've heard of that. I've actually worked on projects with that. So you can see, keep what you raise, keep what you raise, keep what you raise, and look at their fees. They're a little bit lower. So, but there's hundreds of these. Yes?
you use it for the GMO?
Yes, we could have used it for the GMO labeling. Yes. And maybe we will next time. So, yeah, we all worked really hard on that one.
We didn't have the funds.
Yeah, well, we had funds and we had volunteers. We just didn't have the $5 million at the end. So, that's what they had. So, anyway. So, okay, so for modern fundraising, what I want you to know to do is you brand your fundraising page, which is a website. You email your followers as many times as you can without being obnoxious. And of course, we'll be showing you ways for you to build your email list as well. Stand out by making the fundraiser unique. So you want to have a way to have, if you are going to do a silent auction or some of the more traditional fundraising methods, you want to be able to make something fun, entertaining. This is really about energy, right? So creating a higher energy makes a big difference in your quality of your outcome. You want to have links and call to actions on your Facebook page, and I'll show you what Angie did. She actually had a link to a survey, a petition that actually worked. It stopped something from happening in Kansas. And then you want to make sure that you always thank people, because we forget about that. We're so busy with collecting the funds and raising consciousness that we forget to go, hey, thank you, because you're creating a culture. I want to talk about that a little bit too. With the cultural creatives idea, there also became birthed an idea of culture. And what you do was, when we talk about culture, is you're creating a group of people, like a community, an online community that has the same values. That culture will stay with you through thick and thin. So the culture, you have to keep them entertained. You have to contact them enough. So for instance, if the culture is about spiritual practice, let's say it's a spiritual practice group, you want to make sure that your posts are relevant, your content, it keeps giving them more information. And I just got my 10 minutes, so I'll keep going. Okay, so part of the way that you do that, part of the way that you build culture is you tell personal stories and engaging stories, and you connect people in an authentic way. The idea of cause marketing and this whole idea, it's actually a triangle. Cause marketing at the top, the corporation or the organization that's giving a percentage of the proceeds to the nonprofit, and then the culture or the donors, the participants in the nonprofit, are the bottom. So you have to keep connecting that triangle in order to make it work. And you'll see it'll start connecting itself if you let it go. You'll see that it's wonderful. You need to set realistic fundraising goals. You need to develop a plan. That was one of the things when I interviewed people, they said the only way it worked was we developed a plan. We really had an idea of who we wanted to reach, how quickly, and we had phases into it so that it really worked. You want to make sure that you can demonstrate the impact, so it's proof. It's social proof is what they call it. So for instance, if you wanted to do a Kickstarter and you wanted $5,000, the minute you got your first 1,000, you should blast it out everywhere. Thank you so much. We have that money, and encourage people to do more. You want to keep the community updated on that as well. Okay, so then again, the first thing you do when you start one of these nonprofit fundraisers is the first thing you do is you ask your fans, because most people will not fund anything without seeing that somebody else did it first. So if you can get the first batch of 20 or more people to fund it on a Kickstarter, you got it. It's sort of like the same thing in the book business that I do, the publishing business. If you don't have enough reviews, people don't buy it. Well, it's the same thing. People want to see what other people are doing. So it's called social equity. And then here, 70% of marketing professionals are using video in 2015 for their projects. So you have to use video. You really do. And it can be as simple as your iPhone or an iPad. The only thing you want to do if you're doing your own videos is you need to get a good microphone. If you don't have a good microphone, you will lose a lot of a lot of your credibility and the quality will really go down. Okay? So here's one of my friends, Angie Lyle, who's the lady I was talking about that did Alanya Van Sant's page. And she is a mom of twins. They're now 10, but I think this happened a couple years ago. She put up this page because the school in their local area, she lives in a little town called Waldo, which it isn't where is Waldo, but she lives in a little town called Waldo, Kansas. And there was a school that had been closed, and they were trying to sell the building. It had been empty. And there were 10 organizations that had bid on the building, and all of a sudden, all of them fell out, and Walmart was the only one bidding on the building. And it's a little community with the little shoe repair and the little, camera shop, and it would have devastated the community. And plus, the area that the school was on, the field in the back was where everybody ran their dog, and the soccer fields for the whole community were being used, so Walmart would have chucked all of that. So she's an activist. She worked with me for 3 years at Humanities Team to do the marketing there, and she's wonderful. But she set this up and did a timeline. So she got 1,800 likes. You don't need a zillion people, you just need active people. She got 1,800 likes, and she set up this page. And because of the way Facebook is, Facebook would not let her put Walmart with one L up. So she had to put, I said, Angie, you spelled it wrong. She goes, I know, it's okay. So this is Waldonians Against Walmart is what this page is. So on this page, what she did is she went and searched the internet, and there's not a lot of people like Walmart. So there's tons of content. So she found all these cool pictures and stories and information about Walmart that wasn't very nice and linked to it. And then what she did is she put, every time there was a meeting of their group, they had town meetings. They got everybody in the town meetings to share all these tweets and Facebook posts, and she was able to drive the eyes here for this link. Okay, so this thing worked like amazing. It was like stealth marketing. She also boosted the post, and it doesn't. Okay, so almost 6,500 people were reached by her boosting the post, and her posts were $10. Okay, so for a small town, you don't need a lot of people. So this were the stats. She made me an admin of her page so I could get in and get this information for you. So this is organic search, where people just found it because of Waldonians. And then this was the paid search. And you can see she didn't pay that much money. She didn't do that much. And Walmart isn't buying that building and isn't building in Waldo. So she was very successful. So this is what her best practices were. To make a Facebook page, fill out the about page was the most important part, and I'll show you it in a second. She actually had a link to her petition on her about page. And so when she was at these meetings, she'd say, go to the page, go to the Facebook page. And from that, she clicked straight to a petition page, made it so easy they didn't have to think, and then people signed up. So it's a petition stakeholder. She had a stakeholder feedback form on it. She included the website URL, so she made a website. She did interesting stories, which was really easy in her content to find. Graphics, one of the things that she emphasized with me was that you really need to hire somebody. If you're not great at graphics, you need to get help getting great graphics. The graphics and video are going to be your key to getting people's attention, because it's a noisy world and because people don't read as much as they used to. So you really need to do that. And you need to keep your message positive. The one thing she said she would do, if she could do it again, is she would not have it Waldonians Against Walmart. She would have had a different name for it. Because that's the same thing we had with the GMO labeling, is we didn't have it against Monsanto, we had it as right to know. So you have to be very careful when you go against anything. It doesn't bring up the right energy. This is another nonprofit, and this is from Andrea Vall. And Andrea Vall is a superstar in social media. She goes by the name of Grandmother Mary. She started out 4 years ago writing books and wearing a wig and little glasses and talking like a little grandmother and presenting social media like, honey, you can do this. So, and she would teach like that, like a little school mom, and it went viral. And this is actually, for us that live in Boulder, this is a really important nonprofit that she's working on. It's a way to have commuting solutions on 36, because they're thinking of putting toll road on 36. So if you're not doing, so here, she only has 852 likes, but it's getting media. With press releases and everything, it's getting tons of media. And this was one of her projects. She also told me about 2 other projects, but this was the one I wanted to share with you the most. And what she did, see, these are tabs. If you can do things on Facebook and make it easy for people to stay on the platform and not go on and off, that's what I recommend to do. And these tabs allow you, there's maybe 15, 20 different applications that Facebook allows you to use. The inside. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so here's another one. Mike McQueen, who is a teacher librarian, he was in the Denver area. He used his social media to work on Jeffco's schools, and he bought a large screen printer, wrapped his van in it, went out and got all his buddies, got everybody to Facebook it, and it actually affected the vote for getting yes on those issues. Then what I wanted to show you is he crowdfunded a book launch, and if this works correctly, I will show you. And you will hear more about Mike. He's going to be a superstar. Please open. Okay. So this is his oh, it's not showing. Oh, darn. I don't know. Okay, so I would have shown you his Kickstarter campaign. And if you come to my booth, I'm at 504. Afterwards, I could show it to you. I apologize, the link didn't work. But his Kickstarter campaign is on my desktop, but not rendering over here. What he did is he tried to get $5,000 to print his book. His book is called Getting Boys to Read. And he is a librarian, and he had a reading disability as a small child. And he saw how difficult it was for kids. So he created this book. He's been on TV with me. He's been all over the country. You'll hear more and more about him. He's a superstar because he's highly passionate about giving kids a chance to really be in the system. And his Kickstarter was for $5,000. He ended it at $9,187. Okay? So this is the next one I wanted you to see, again, talking about videos. That videos in the news feed, that's where you want to be for having people see your information. And it's going up this year. They're saying it's going up almost 4 times. So if that's the case, you want to have video. And it's just because people don't have the attention span. Okay, so nope, it's going the other way. Yep. Sorry, I'm past time. Sorry about that. So I wanted to see who filled out their form at all. Who took some notes today? Okay, so any of you that took some notes, come on up and we'll give you a book. This book is a book that I created. It's a beginner's book on how to do social media with the Big 5. The Big 5, thank you. Thank you for being good students. Thank you. Did you do it really? Okay, just kidding. Okay. You guys, you can come up if you want. You can have it. If you did your homework. Okay, that's good. Okay. So this book is a how-to book to get you started on the Big Five, which the Big Five are